When people say something's impossible, everything's been done, that just means everything has not been done. They just don't know.
They say if we build it, they will come. It's nice to have the ability to start small and to grow as the demand requires. Now we're able to build in a way that allows us to scale if what we've built is popular.
We are moving into AI-driven era where AI takes care of higher order activities.
Today's tools are allowing people to execute if they have the grit and determination.
People build what they can imagine.
Dzień dobry Państwu. Mam na imię Ola i jestem polskim głosem Amazon Poli. Proszę o powitanie Andrzeja Chorawy, dyrektora AWS w Polsce.
Witam Was bardzo serdecznie dzisiaj na tej naszej wspaniałej imprezie. Jestem dumny i mam zaszczyt otworzyć AWS Summit 2025. Jesteśmy tu dziś po to, żeby świętować spektakularne sukcesy polskich firm. Startupy z Polski stają się jednorożcami, firmami, które działają globalnie i są dzisiaj tutaj z nami. Z AWS korzystają na co dzień małe i wielkie firmy ze wszystkich sektorów gospodarki. Będziemy o tym dzisiaj mówić dużo. Na co dzień wy, nasi klienci, nasi partnerzy pokazujecie swoją przedsiębiorczość i swoją innowacyjność. Naprawdę dziękuję Wam, że jesteśmy tutaj razem. Muszę powiedzieć wow, bo jest naprawdę nas tutaj dużo, bardzo się cieszę. To jest niezwykły moment w historii ludzkości, to jest niezwykły moment w historii IT. Rewolucja technologiczna dzieje się na naszych oczach. Czy wiecie, że co 2 minuty jedna polska firma zaczyna swoją przygodę z IT? Już 740 000 polskich firm korzysta z dobrodziejstw rozwiązań generatywnej sztucznej inteligencji. To jest najszybszy wzrost w Unii Europejskiej, 56% rok do roku. 87% tych firm odnotowuje wzrost przychodów, tych, które korzystają z generatywnej sztucznej inteligencji. To wszystko jest efektem, czy może mówimy o tym, ponieważ właśnie publikujemy ostatnie badanie dotyczące adopcji sztucznej inteligencji w Polsce i dzisiaj będziecie mieli okazję się z nim zapoznać. W tym roku obchodzimy 10. rocznicę istnienia Amazon Web Services w Polsce i wspólnie razem od tych 10 lat tworzymy transformację cyfrową. Ale nie wiem, czy wiecie, jak to się wszystko zaczęło. W 2015 roku mieliśmy jednego pracownika i on tu gdzieś jest na sali. Nie wiem, czy wiecie, kto to jest. Tomek Starzec. Gdzieś tu jest. Pokaż się. O, jest Tomek. Tomek, pokaż się. Od jednego do takiej wielkiej grupy ludzi, którzy są tutaj z nami. Bardzo się cieszę. Popatrzcie tylko na te liczby tutaj, zobaczcie, co razem osiągnęliśmy. Wspólnie z Amazonem zainwestowaliśmy w Polsce już ponad 30 miliardów złotych. To jest, słuchajcie, 7 milionów złotych dziennie. To jest wielka skala inwestycji. A zaczęło się znów od akwizycji software house'u w Polsce, firmy Iwona Software, która teraz jest fundamentem rozwiązania Alexa oraz Amazon Poli. Amazon Poli mnie tutaj zaprosiło na scenę. W międzyczasie stworzyliśmy wspólnie z Amazonem 70 000 miejsc pracy i przeszkoliliśmy ponad 100 000 ludzi w technologiach cyfrowych. Powstało 10 centrów logistycznych Amazona, powstały farmy wiatrowe i fotowoltaiczne, strefa lokalna Amazon Web Services w Polsce i mamy tutaj ponad 100 partnerów, którzy z nami współpracują. Bardzo dziękuję, że tutaj jesteście. AWS to przede wszystkim innowacje. To 60 milionów zmian do naszej technologii rocznie, 2 zmiany na sekundę w 240 wysoko zintegrowanych usługach. Pomyślcie, jaka to skala jest. Robimy to wszystko dla was, dla naszych klientów, dla naszych partnerów, bo to wy jesteście najważniejsi tutaj. Globalne rozwiązania dopasowujemy do lokalnych potrzeb. Dlatego dwie z nich tutaj przedstawię dzisiaj. Jedno to fakt, że Amazon Connect mówi po polsku. Amazon Connect to nasza usługa call center, która przez Gartnera jest uznawana za lidera. I tam uruchamiamy komunikację w języku polskim, uruchamiamy Amazon Q, naszego agenta AI-owego w aplikacji w języku polskim i uruchamiamy proaktywne kampanie dla naszych klientów, którzy z tego rozwiązania korzystają. Z drugiej strony w części operacyjnej wprowadzamy 2 nowe waluty rozliczeniowe, polski złoty i ukraińską hrywnę oraz do tego jeszcze rumuńską leję. Także naprawdę dużo robimy, żebyśmy byli bliżej was tutaj lokalnie. Efekty transformacji cyfrowej, której jesteśmy świadkami, widać w codziennym życiu. Czy wiecie, że każdego dnia korzystacie z rozwiązań, które działają na chmurze AWS-u? Lekarza szukacie przez znanego lekarza albo po prostu idziecie do LuxMedu. Wiadomości poszukujecie w Onecie albo oglądacie w TVN-ie. Na siłownię bierzecie kartę Multisport firmy Benefit Systems. Podróż planujecie z polskimi liniami lotniczymi LOT, a prace domowe wasze dzieci odrabiają z Brainly, bardzo globalnym polskim startupem. Bankujecie z Nestbankiem, ubezpieczacie się w Allianz, a zakupy robicie na Amazon lub w Stokrotce. Jak widzicie, AWS jest wszędzie. Jesteśmy z wami w każdej dziedzinie życia. Wszystko to jest możliwe dzięki wam, naszym klientom i każdemu z was chcemy tutaj podziękować i zapytać, jak możemy pomóc. Bo 90% nowości, tych, które wam dostarczamy, tworzymy razem z wami, naszymi klientami, a 10% wynika z naszych przewidywań, co jeszcze możecie potrzebować. AWS Summit to platforma rozmowy, dialogu o tym, co was ciekawi i co my mamy do zaproponowania. To dzień przygotowany dla was i w pełni poświęcony waszym potrzebom. Rozmawiajmy, dzielmy się, prowadźmy dialog, inspirujmy się nawzajem. My też potrzebujemy inspiracji. To są 52 dedykowane sesje tematyczne. To jest 19 warsztatów, 35 przypadków różnych wdrożeń klientów oraz w których wspiera nas ponad 18 partnerów. A skoro o partnerach mowa, to bardzo z tego miejsca chcę podziękować naszym sponsorom i partnerom tego wydarzenia, którzy umożliwiają nasz summit. Naszym sponsorom globalnym, naszym sponsorom szmaragdowym i diamentowym oraz sponsorom platynowym, złotym, srebrnym oraz brązowym, a także partnerom szkoleniowym. Oni zainwestowali swój czas, pieniądze i ludzi po to, żeby to wydarzenie miało miejsce. Proszę o wielkie brawa dla naszych sponsorów. Mamy też dla Was kilka niezwykle ciekawych wydarzeń na naszym Expo tutaj za ścianą. Tutaj są nasi partnerzy i nasi specjaliści. Zbudujcie własny harmonogram w oparciu o aplikację AWS Events. Bardzo zachęcam do pobrania jej teraz. Spotkajcie się z partnerami, umówcie się na spotkania z naszymi ekspertami, jest ich tutaj bardzo dużo. A szczególnie zapraszam do tego obszaru generatywnej sztucznej inteligencji. Niech ten summit będzie dla nas początkiem nowych, innowacyjnych pomysłów. Razem kształtujmy przyszłość cyfrowej transformacji w Polsce. Dziękuję jeszcze raz za Waszą obecność. Chętnie się z każdym z Was spotkam tutaj w kuluarach. Zapraszam do rozmów. And now I am excited to hand over the stage to Slavik Dimitrovic, Director of AI/ML and Gen AI at AWS. He will share his insights of how companies are leveraging power of AWS to transform industries globally. Please give a warm welcome to Slavik Dimitrovic. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Andre, for inviting me to speak. Thank you all for joining us here today, and welcome to the Poland Summit 2025. I hope that by the end of this day, every one of you will learn something new and will get inspired to build great things with the help of our technology. Today, I would like to start with a question. What if you could build anything you can imagine? To me, one of the greatest things about being a builder is that you get to imagine things that seem impossible, and then you get to build them, make them real. At AWS, we give you the building blocks to build anything you can imagine. And with them, we've seen you do some remarkable things. Innovate how we heal people and how we shop. Transform finance and reinvent sports. And even help the blind see. All of these amazing innovations were made possible because AWS building blocks give you the freedom to innovate and to scale, while leaving undifferentiated heavy lifting to us. The idea of building blocks is fundamental to how we invent at AWS. We create services that do one thing really, really well, and then we make it easy for you to combine them to build anything you can imagine. But there are some foundational things that even these building blocks rest upon. And for us at AWS, those are security and scale. Security at AWS starts at the very bottom with custom silicon and custom security-optimized, purpose-built virtualization hardware and software, ensuring that nobody, not even us, can have access to your data while at our data centers, unless you authorize it. And scale starts with our network backbone. AWS private network extends for over 6 million kilometers of fiber optic cables, connecting all of our regions, availability zones, and edge locations. And we continue to add to our network capacity every year. In fact, in just last 12 months, we've increased our backbone network capacity by over 80%, adding high throughput, low latency, data transfer and connectivity, and connecting, empowering all the building blocks that we're going to talk about today. Which brings me to the first one, compute. Today, you can get as much compute as you need, almost instantly. And it comes in all shapes and sizes, from virtual servers to containers to serverless functions running in the cloud, to match any workload, regardless of how diverse or where you need to host it. Just take EC2. In its early days, EC2 had a single instance type. We didn't even bother to name it. Today, it offers over 850 different instance types to ensure that you can select perfect compute to match your particular workload needs, including the workloads that were once considered impossible to host in a cloud, such as high-performance compute or HPC workloads that place extraordinary demand on networking and compute infrastructure. Examples include scientific modeling and, of course, machine learning, or mission-critical enterprise workloads, such as huge in-memory databases or complex analytics. In fact, we can now host up to 32 terabytes of in-memory databases in the cloud. And for customer workloads that for whatever reason need to stay on-prem, usually because of data residency or latency requirements, we developed AWS Outposts to help you move the cloud to your edge, be it your own data center, factory floor, or any other location outside of our data centers. We recently launched the second generation of Outpost to allow you to take advantage of all the latest x86 EC2 instances at the edge. We also developed specialized network-optimized hardware to support such network-demanding, high-throughput, low-latency workloads as financial exchange trading platforms and core 5G networks. We will soon offer GPU instances to allow you to do inference at the edge. And speaking of inference, as you all know, generative AI has been the hype of the day, and with it, the demand for accelerated compute has skyrocketed, and most of that runs on GPUs. And AWS is, by far, the best place to run GPU workloads. We've had a 14-year partnership with NVIDIA, and we together have been innovating to make sure you have access to the latest GPU-based instances in the cloud. For example, our new P6 family of instances, which offers Blackwell GPUs, including GB200 superchips, which will be available soon. When NVIDIA needed to build their own generative AI supercluster in the cloud, they chose AWS. But building superclusters in the cloud isn't the only way to take advantage of accelerated compute. Sometimes you need just short bursts of GPU capacity for small training runs or fine-tuning. With EC2 capacity block, you get predictable capacity when you need it, where you need it, allowing you to experiment and to respond to unexpected short bursts in demand without having to commit long-term or have idle capacity. But innovation is rarely a straight line. You experiment, you iterate, You push the boundaries of scale and what is possible to build anything you imagine. I would like to share one customer story that I found particularly inspiring. We've had the front row seat as they chased their dream, overcame obstacles, and achieved incredible growth over the last 12 years. Let's take a look.
Innovation is always about solving problems and helping people to achieve their goals more quickly than ever before. Our goal at Canva was to always enable people to take their idea and turn it into a design and have no friction between those 2 points. So you can now create a beautiful whiteboard. You can create an incredible presentation, all with a click, with the power of AI. Today, we have more than 220 million people using Canva each month, and our goal is to get to 1 billion people each month.
Scaling generative AI products to 1 billion users means that we have to be global. We have to be in all of the available data centers around the world and ensure that the right capacity and the right GPU instance types are available. And that's where AWS really comes to the table, working with us to scale as we need it. We can't empower the world to design if our platform and our tool isn't reliable. Using AWS ensures that we've got all of the right baseline capabilities available that are secure, reliable, available when we need it, and that just increases trust with our customers.
Being able to rapidly ship product to the whole world and deploy it is an extraordinarily important part of our success. So it's been amazing to partner with AWS on that incredible journey.
We're just 1% of the way there. Canva is just getting started, and we cannot wait for you to see what we have coming up next.
It is customers like Canva that drive to enormous scale and push us to make sure that our compute continues to be more sustainable, more performant, and more cost efficient. And we then pass these improvements to everybody, so you can build anything you imagine. And one area where this innovation shines through is Graviton. Graviton was our first custom chip, and we're now on our 4th generation, and it's our most powerful CPU yet. Graviton is up to 45% faster for large Java applications than its predecessor, Graviton 3. It also consumes 60% less energy than comparable x86-based EC2 instance. The amazing performance and sustainability of Graviton are the reasons why, over the last 2 years, we landed more Graviton CPUs in our data centers than any other types of CPU combined. Creation of Graviton gave us the momentum to tackle even more ambitious challenges, such as building purpose-built AI chips, Inferentia, and Trainium. All these custom chips are built based on the same principle: exceptional performance at significantly low cost. Today, Trainium 2-based instances offer the best price performance for generative AI and deep learning workloads at AWS. They're up to 4 times faster and up to 3 times more energy efficient compared to the previous Trainium 1-based instances. Some of the leading model providers in the world will rely on Trainium 2 to significantly reduce the training cost, such as Anthropic. Millions of people rely on Claude models every day for their work and their study. Together, AWS and Anthropic are advancing the future of generative AI. Take, for example, Project Rainier, which is the next generation supercomputer cluster for Anthropic, representing the next frontier in their research and their scaling. It is based on hundreds of thousands of Trainium 2 chips and will produce hundreds of exaflops of compute power, 5 times more than their current supercluster. And for the builders relying on cloud models, that means more intelligence at lower cost and faster response time. To bring really big ideas to life, you need more than one building block, which brings me to the next one, storage. In the early days of Amazon, when teams needed storage, they would build it themselves. And so what we found over time is across Amazon, there were these teams building storage not because that was the purpose, but because they needed it in support of whatever it is they were focused on. And so if you multiply it by the number of teams across Amazon, we ended up spending years on undifferentiated heavy lifting of storage. So we realized we need a universal storage solution that all teams can rely on and all services can use. And then we realized that our customers need one too. In other words, we needed the storage for the internet. Today, there are over 400 trillion objects stored in S3. That data can be used all across AWS. For example, it could be used to train and fine-tune a model on Amazon SageMaker. It could be used as a knowledge base in Amazon Bedrock. It can be used for business dashboards in Amazon QuickSight, or it can be used for complex analytics in Amazon Redshift. Storage has been evolving. That's because in 19 years that S3 has been in operation, we were focused on reshaping it to match how you want to manage, consume, and use your data. And one of the latest trends we've observed across thousands of customers is rapid rise of open table formats like Apache Iceberg. Apache Iceberg is a high-performance, open-source, open table format used for large data sets that can be made of thousands, sometimes even millions of individual files in a variety of formats, but most common is Parquet. And there are exabytes of Parquet data stored in S3. Iceberg extends Parquet to create fully functional tabular structure that supports mutations, snapshots, and schema evolutions. The magic behind all of it is metadata. Behind the scenes, Iceberg maintains hierarchy of metadata and manifests to support all these mutations and snapshots. But herein lies the challenge. As your data set size grows, and as the volume of operation increases, so does the management challenge. You have to maintain some undifferentiated operations, have nothing to do with the purpose of your business, such as pruning files, compacting, removing orphans, just to keep Iceberg running smoothly. And so we thought, could we provide our customers with all the benefits of Iceberg, but take away that undifferentiated heavy lifting of Iceberg scale and management? And so we offered last year S3 tables. S3 tables is a new bucket type that allows you to operate on tabular data, or rather apply tabular data constructs on top of large data sets. With S3 tables, tabular data becomes as fundamental storage building blocks as the original objects that you're all hopefully used to by now. And that's, as I say, just the tip of an iceberg. The idea of metadata itself is extremely powerful. And we've seen how many companies were trying to build their own custom metadata management systems, which proves expensive, difficult, and error-prone. You have to maintain the list of objects. You have to maintain the event pipeline. You have to store all that in some sort of database, and you have to write and maintain the code that ties it all together. So we thought, could we provide our customers with all the advantages of the metadata, but without them having to maintain all of it. And so late last year, we also introduced S3 metadata, which automatically collects all the system metadata from S3 objects, names, encryption types, storage class, and so on, and makes it queryable using SQL. But it also allows you to store custom metadata, and we will manage it for you and make it queryable. For example, Seattle is not particularly known for high-quality pierogi. Now that I'm here, I'm tempted to do a pierogi sampling tour. So as I do that, I will take pictures, upload them to S3, and add custom metadata. Fillings, restaurant name, my impression, so on. And the metadata will be managed by S3 and queryable using SQL. This is the example of data augmentation, which is used to enrich the data and prepare it for integration with AI and analytic tools. Today, it is becoming more and more important for organizations to connect all of their data and tools in a single place to accelerate integration and collaboration. This is the approach we have taken with our next generation SageMaker. It combines our popular fully managed purpose-built analytics services with our widely adopted Amazon SageMaker service for AI. The work that once required you to switch across multiple tools and interfaces can now be done in a single unified studio. Amazon SageMaker is built on a lakehouse data architecture, fully compatible with Apache Iceberg, allowing data to flow seamlessly across users and tools. SageMaker Catalog provides end-to-end governance for objects in this lakehouse, allowing teams to share securely the data, the models, and the GenAI artifacts. And we will continue to add capabilities to SageMaker that will connect your data and your workflows to further accelerate integration and collaboration. And now, I would like to invite to stage the customer who used a rich set of AWS building blocks to do amazing things. Please help me welcome Michał Smolinski from Radpoint.
Thanks, Slavik. I want to tell you a story about a 10-year-old named Anna. In 2014, Anna was in an accident in a suburb of Warsaw. She was taken to a local hospital and needed a CT scan to assess her injuries. However, once the CT scan was complete, there was no radiologist on duty to read the results. A physical CD with her results traveled by ambulance to Warsaw to reach a radiologist, causing a 3-hour delay in patient care for Anna in a devastating way for her and her family. There had to be a more efficient and smarter way. Since 2013, Radpoint has been on a mission to create solutions that transform radiology. Our platform bridges the gap between overwhelmed hospitals and a pool of radiologists that is not keeping up with the demand. Our goal is to turn CDs with patient images into cloud-powered lifesavers. Built on AWS, our cloud-native platform modernizes radiology and serves as a central hub where medical images from hospitals, CTs, X-rays, MRIs are instantly stored and organized. Radiologists can then access these images remotely, analyze them, provide reports, eliminating geographical barriers for patients like Anna everywhere. Today, 43% of Polish radiologists, that is over 1,700 professionals, use the Radpoint platform daily. This results in faster, more scalable care, shortening the time between scan and diagnosis. But how did we get here? Well, we had to dive deep on the radiology challenges. Because radiology has been dealing with a growing demand for medical imaging services, especially with an increasingly aging population, combined with a lack of qualified radiologists and the global demand for 24/7 access to radiology services, we saw an increasingly urgent issue. We began to build RodPoint, and our core challenge was dealing with a massive scale of medical data. Every scan takes up data, and that's lots of data. The volume of diagnostic images is growing exponentially. Today, we securely handle over 2 petabytes of data with over 2 terabytes added daily. This translates to over 4 billion images from more than 8 million patients. Our single SaaS multi-tenant solution is used in more than 500 radiology facilities in Poland, including diagnostic imaging chains, hospitals, teleradiology operators, as well as small practices. And AWS provided us with the building blocks that would create a technology benefiting healthcare professionals and patients in real time. Now, let me walk you through how. The IDC reports that 90% of healthcare data around the world is just medical imaging, making Amazon S3 an ideal building block for RodPoint because of its infinitely scalable storage and simplified management. And for regulatory and security reasons, we use advanced S3 functionalities, such as object lock or automatic replication to another AWS region as a backup, and advanced Glacier instant retrieval tiering for cost optimization of storing all their data. And unlike traditional PACS solutions that simply lift and shift to EC2, RodPoint was built cloud native from day one. Our containerized microservices architecture runs on Amazon ECS, allowing us to scale individual components independently. And when there is a surge in imaging traffic, we instantly scale up our processing capacity. And using AWS cost intelligence dashboards, we maintain precise control over costs while running our 100+ microservices architecture. With the storage and compute plant, we needed to build a sophisticated data architecture to achieve sub-second response times across billions of medical images. We leverage Amazon OpenSearch for efficient, high-performance queries on sparse data sets across our entire imaging database, while RDS, DynamoDB, and Elasticache ensure real-time access to patient data. And because healthcare data security is paramount, we've implemented end-to-end encryption using AWS KMS, with GuardDuty providing continuous security monitoring of the infrastructure. These building blocks create a RodPoint. So now, let me share an example of our impact at a national scale. In 2020, Poland launched an ambitious lung cancer screening pilot program. RodPoint was chosen as the exclusive technology provider, providing a unified cloud platform for the entire country. We supported 27 locations and enabled the screening of over 80,000 participants in just 3 years. And AWS scalability and security enabled us to support a national healthcare initiative. And we do hope to help expand these initiatives in the future. In just over a decade, we've built a scalable and trustworthy clinical platform used by almost 16,000 medical staff across Poland. Thanks to recent EU regulatory initiatives, including European Health Data Spaces and the Data Governance Act, and through many research projects we run with our partners, we enable the secondary use of data for medical research and AI development. And that positions us uniquely to take the next step and go forward. And today, we're proud to announce RodPoint Aura, our new AI assistant built specifically for radiologists. Powered by Amazon Bedrock with built-in guardrails, Aura transforms how radiologists work. It helps create reports, monitors concordance of clinical AI predictions with actual radiologist reports, and helps prevent misdiagnosis. Think of Aura as a trusted companion that analyzes millions of historical cases to support clinical decisions while maintaining the highest standards of patient privacy and data security. And this isn't just about automation. It's about augmenting radiology expertise to enhance patient care. And now, think back to that suburban hospital which couldn't even diagnose a young Anna due to lack of resources. RodPoint cuts scan to diagnosis time from long hours to minutes. And thanks to AWS, we're not just building the platform, we're creating the future of radiology where every patient, whether in Warsaw, a Polish village, or anywhere in the world, has access to world-class diagnostic capabilities enhanced by the latest AI innovations. Thank you.
Thank you, Michał. Thank you for building amazing things that improve lives. It is customers like RodPoint and technologies like AWS that invite and inspire you to innovate in all aspects of life. I would like to conclude our discussion about building blocks by talking about inference. Because of transformative potential of AI, we believe that in the near future, inference will become as building block, as foundational, fundamental building block of every application as compute and storage are today, which is why we created Amazon Bedrock, the easiest way to build and scale generative AI applications on AWS, and which is why we continue to expand Bedrock global presence around the world. Now, what does it take for a generative AI application to be successful today and into the future? Number first is model choice. The world of foundation model is evolving very fast, with new models being introduced continuously that push the boundaries of what is possible with AI. But we all know that there is no single model that is best for every workload, which is why within Bedrock we offer you a broad selection of models, fully managed from the leading model providers, so that you can explore and build and find the right model for your particular workload without having to worry about infrastructure and without compromising on security or performance. One family of model we offer in Bedrock is Amazon Nova, which is our own family of foundation model specifically designed to offer you a rich set of modalities and price performance options. It is great, particularly great for customizing it to make sure that AI systems understand your business and speak your language. Customizing Gen AI systems with your data is critical to make them relevant to your business and to your customers. And one of the most common ways of doing it has been retrieval augmented generation, or RAG. Now, the developers who tried to put RAG in practice quickly discovered one limitation. Initially, it was designed and optimized for unstructured data only, but business data comes in all shapes and sizes. And this is why today in Bedrock, we offer fully managed RAG that works with all data formats so that you can easily build applications that understand your business and provide accurate, relevant responses to your customers. Trellix is a security company, and it's a great example of how their proprietary data augmented our AI for the best results. They have billions of security events in their knowledge base. They connected it to the Nova model and taught Nova to reason through security incidents the way their analysts would be. So essentially, Trellix was optimizing for their most precious resource, which is human expertise, letting Nova-based system take on undifferentiating, lower complexity tasks. As a result, saving 65% on this incident response time and cost. Now, customers who tried deploying their applications into production found that trust, safety, security often can make or break the entire project. With Bedrock guardrails, it is much easier to meet safety and security requirements of your application because they can help you filter out unwanted inputs or outputs. Could be topics, could be individual words, could be prompt injection attacks. Now, guardrails can also help ensure that the output of your system is aligned with your branding and your values. But now, guardrails can do even more. One of the most common reasons why AI adoption stalls in enterprise is fear of hallucinations. Now, automated reasoning is a technique that uses mathematical proofs and formal methods to reason about the outputs of the systems and models at the speed and scale that is impossible to match with manual testing. So at AWS, we've used automated reasoning for many years to provide formal proof of the foundational logic behind our services. With the advent of generative AI, we realized that the same technology can be used to also reason about output of the models, and therefore reduce the risk or the unease with the unpredictable, sometimes, output of AI systems. So we brought automated reasoning into Bedrock guardrails, to be precise. So the way it works is, as the system generates output, it goes through the automated reasoning check, which you configure using the policies that you decide are relevant. And automated reasoning, if it discovers that the output doesn't comply with policy, will signal that. At that point, Bedrock allows app developer opportunity to rerun the logic and update the output, reducing the risk of passing hallucinations to the end users. Now, those customers who successfully deployed GenAI systems into production discovered that inference cost becomes an impediment and often blocks them or creates friction on the way to broader adoption. The biggest factor of inference cost is the model size. The bigger the model, the more costly it is to do inference with it. On the other hand, the bigger the model, the more capable it is. So how do you resolve this conflict? Well, Bedrock offers multiple ways to our customers to try to figure out the right balance. One of them is model distillation. With model distillation, you take knowledge of the more complex models and teach the smaller models some of that. It's like teacher teaching the student. And so the smaller model now is as capable for that particular task or that particular use case as the bigger model, but offers lower inference costs because it is smaller. On Bedrock, as a result of distillation, some customers achieve up to 5 times improvement in speed, 75% or up to 75% cost savings, while only losing around 2% in terms of quality of output. Now, what if you don't have that particular skill or use case so that you can distill into the smaller model? Not a problem. In that case, Bedrock offers intelligent prompt routing. This is where you connect multiple models to your system, probably small, medium, large, or different other ways of distinguishing them, and then you let Bedrock decide which model to use for a particular request based on request characteristics. This way, you can achieve up to 30% cost savings without compromising on accuracy. The final attribute is utility. Theoretically, AI should make things simpler, but anybody who tried building production AI systems today would disagree that it's simple. Now, this is where agents come in. In the early days of AI, the typical interaction was we send it a prompt, it sends us a response. Over time, it became a little more conversation, but it's still request-response way of interacting. Now, agents are different. Agents don't just respond, they act. They create a plan, they select a tool, they execute, then they reflect to decide whether they should go for another iteration or it's good enough. Now, agents are very promising in its own right, and we are, of course, agentifying many of our tools as well. An example is Amazon Q Developer, a tool designed for optimizing the entire software development lifecycle. And it is now becoming a collection of agents that act on your behalf. Let's see how it could work. So let's ask Q to modify the app we built, creating an endpoint that calls Claude in Bedrock to analyze a transcript. As Q works through the request, we see how the agents are rationalizing the problem and autonomously taking steps to create new code. We can review what Q built, and if we're happy, we can merge it into our application. Q can also be used to generate tests, documentation, and transform entire code bases. And all of this, from model choice to agents, are available in Bedrock, but to take advantage of that, you need to be in the cloud. And unfortunately, sometimes we still see customers who are unable to take full advantage of everything that cloud has to offer because they're held back by the legacy infrastructure and legacy code bases. And so now I would like to invite on stage a customer that successfully managed through that legacy and transformed their technology, their business, and their customer experience. Please welcome Magdalena Niecielska from Polish Aviation Group.
Thank you, Slavik. Chciałabym Was dziś zabrać w krótką podróż. Jeszcze kilkadziesiąt lat temu latanie samo w sobie było ogromnym wydarzeniem. Podróżni planowali wszystko z wielomiesięcznym wyprzedzeniem, cierpliwie stojąc w długich kolejkach po swój papierowy bilet. Dzisiejszy podróżny nie tylko leci, on doświadcza. Kiedy ja zaczynałam pracę w locie w 2018 roku, wyobraźcie sobie, że ciągle w pokoju stał karton pełen niewykorzystanych papierowych biletów, które ostatecznie skończyły jako sticky notesy. W 1929 roku samolot lotu po raz pierwszy wzbił się w powietrze. Zaczynaliśmy skromnie, z flotą zaledwie 21 samolotów latających na 5 kierunkach. A teraz jesteśmy jednym z ważniejszych graczy na rynku, łączącym Polskę ze światem. I przez te wszystkie lata przyszło nam się mierzyć z wieloma wyzwaniami. Od wojen, przez komunizm, po pandemię, której skutki czujemy do dzisiaj, ale zawsze potrafiliśmy się dostosować i iść naprzód. 95 lat później funkcjonujemy już jako polska grupa lotnicza. Mamy flotę 86 samolotów latających na ponad 100 kierunkach, 2 centra serwisowe w Warszawie i Rzeszowie. I patrząc w przyszłość, chcemy dawać naszym pasażerom coś więcej niż tylko transport. I wiemy, że tylko przez zastosowanie nowoczesnych technologii jesteśmy w stanie sprostać tym wyzwaniom. Dlatego właśnie powstało Aviation Solution Center. Jest to miejsce, w którym wspólnie z AWS-em rozwijamy naszą aplikację webową Lot.com z myślą o naszych podróżnych, ale też o komforcie naszej codziennej pracy. Bo dzisiejszy podróżny, on oczekuje czegoś więcej niż tylko podróż z punktu A do B. Liczy się szybkość, wygoda, personalizacja, dostęp do wszystkiego z poziomu telefonu czy zegarka. Od zakupu biletu aż po wejście na pokład wszystko musi być płynne, proste, bez zbędnego myślenia. A papierowa karta pokładowa przechodzi do lamusa. Jednocześnie my jako branża lotnicza stąpamy po bardzo cienkim lodzie. Musimy nadążać za oczekiwaniami klientów, ale też mierzyć się z coraz większymi wyzwaniami, jakie mamy na rynku. Rosnące koszty paliwa, regulacje prawne, ESG, dbałość o ekologię, konieczność zapewnienia cyberbezpieczeństwa. I wiedzieliśmy, że technologia może być naszym największym sprzymierzeńcem w realizacji tych wyzwań. Ale też jednym z trudniejszych tematów do podjęcia, bo biorąc pod uwagę fakt, że mamy 95 lat historii, wyobraźcie sobie czasem jaki mamy dług technologiczny do pokonania. Dlatego dziś dla nas modernizacja to już nie jest wybór, to konieczność. Jednak nasze 95 lat historii nauczyło nas jednego, że my potrafimy się zmieniać i dostosowywać. Od biletów papierowych po PDF-y, Od PDF-ów po aplikacje mobilne, krok po kroku adaptujemy się do nowych czasów, niekiedy je wyprzedzamy. Dlatego właśnie wybraliśmy AWS-a jako dostawcę naszej chmury, ale też jako partnera naszej transformacji. Przedtem korzystaliśmy z różnych chmur, 2 różnych dostawców zarządzało tą chmurą. Wyobraźcie sobie, jaki to był chaos. To wiązało się z niepotrzebnymi integracjami, interfejsami. Już o kosztach to w ogóle nie wspominam. Szalona środa. Szalona środa to jest takie hasło reklamujące naszą cotygodniową kampanię promocyjną. Raz w tygodniu jakieś jedno połączenie czy kilka jest w promocyjnej cenie. No niby nic, wiadomo, że to się raz w tygodniu zdarza, ale dla nas, dla IT i zespołu e-commerce to był jeden z najbardziej stresujących dni w tygodniu, bo najzwyczajniej w świecie wcześniej nasza stara infrastruktura nie dawała rady. My musieliśmy być w ciągłej gotowości, żeby sprawdzić po prostu, czy nam strona nie padła. No a teraz mamy AWS Fargate i nasze aplikacje skalują się automatycznie. Gdy robimy jakąś promocję, czy ruch wzrasta na stronie z różnych powodów, wszystko się samo dostosowuje. Dla nas nie ma zbędnej manualnej pracy, a dla naszych klientów przerwy w działaniu serwisu. No dobrze, ale z czym my się tak naprawdę mierzymy? Pamiętajcie, że jesteśmy linią lotniczą, grupą lotniczą, więc latałem na całym świecie, w różnych strefach czasowych. Nasza strona jest dostępna w wielu językach i na wielu marketach. Obsługujemy ponad 6 milionów wizyt miesięcznie, w tym 3 miliony unikalnych użytkowników i aż 25 milionów odsłon. I to wszystko bez przystojów. Wdrożyliśmy się z tym rozwiązaniem na produkcję w 2021 roku i od tamtej pory nie mieliśmy ani jednej awarii związanej z chmurą. Więc to, co chcę wam powiedzieć, to, że bez względu ile lat tradycji masz, czy masz dług technologiczny, czy nie, czy masz zasoby, czy nie, to dzięki przejściu na clouda zyskujesz coś więcej niż tylko technologię. Zyskujesz pewność. Jest to pewność, że możesz się rozwijać. I przykładem niech będzie moja historia, bo w 2018 roku ja byłam pierwszym pracownikiem w zespole developmentu. Pierwszym, serio. I od tamtej pory ten jednoosobowy zespół przerodził się w grupę ponad 100 osób. Ludzi pełnych pasji, zaangażowania, gotowych podjąć najcięższe wyzwania. Dzięki AWS-owi mamy dostęp do wszystkich takich, wiecie, nowoczesnych narzędzi, pełnej swobody i pełnej automatyzacji. I kiedyś od pomysłu do realizacji mijały 3 miesiące, dzisiaj releasujemy się co 2 tygodnie i nikt nawet tego nie zauważa. Strona działa dalej. Szalona środa nie jest już nam straszna. I taka zwinność daje nam coś wyjątkowego. Jest to realna przewaga nad naszymi innymi konkurentami. Mamy zespół deweloperski, dla którego modernizacja to jest zwykła, normalna praca, taka codzienność. I nasza transformacja wcale nie polegała na tym, że najpierw wymieniamy ten system czy następny, tylko po prostu każdy nowy feature robimy już tak, żeby był przyszłościowy i innowacyjny. I to jest dopiero początek. Nie zatrzymujemy się. Chcemy dalej się rozwijać dzięki rozwiązaniom AI i automatyzacji w AWS-ie. Testujemy Amazon Q Developer, który wspiera naszych programistów w codziennej pracy, no i przyspiesza przede wszystkim proces programowania. Patrzymy też na obsługę klienta i rozwiązanie AWS Contact Center, żeby jeszcze szybciej reagować na potrzeby naszych pasażerów, jednocześnie pilnując kwestii cyberbezpieczeństwa. Więc dziś reprezentuję polską grupę lotniczą. Mamy jedną z najstarszych, nieprzerwanie działających linii lotniczych na świecie. Mamy hub mechaników lotniczych i obsługę lotnisk w całej Polsce. I od prawie wieku latamy ponad chmurami, by każda podróż każdego z naszych 10 milionów pasażerów rocznie, od zakupu biletu aż po lądowanie, była naprawdę wyjątkowa. I dziś z AWS-em w pełni wchodzimy w chmurę, a papierowa karta pokładowa niech niedługo pozostanie eksponatem muzealnym. Dziękuję.
Migrating to the cloud can be hugely beneficial, but it's not always easy. We recognize that. So over many years, we helped a lot of customers migrate to the cloud. So we collected all that knowledge across a variety of workloads and variety of customers and fed it all into Q to help share the burden with you. So let's quickly take a look at 3 migration paths that Q now can help you. One of them is migrating from .NET on Windows to .NET on Linux. With Q, it's up to 4 times faster, and it helps you save up to 40% on licensing cost. Q can help you migrate from VMware to the cloud, including network and firewall configurations. It can even help you migrate from the mainframe to the cloud, including refactoring COBOL to Java. As you can see, with the right building blocks, you can build anything you can imagine. We're not just building technology, we're enabling progress, empowering the world through what we build, which is why we're here today. As you continue on your summit journey, I encourage you to connect, explore, and discover services, tools, and brilliant minds that can take your ideas, which may seem impossible today, and turn them into amazing success stories of tomorrow. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the summit.